When I was a kid, Star Wars was my entire personality. I was convinced that one day I'd be able to soar through the stars with Han Solo, Chewbacca, eat at a diner, a 1950s-style diner in the future space world of Star Wars. When I told my second grade teacher, Mrs. Flanderson, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You idiot, Star Wars isn't real," and then she slapped me. "No, Mrs. Flanderson, please don't hit me. Just slap some sense into you, you little window licker." The moral is, kids are stupid. And speaking of stupid, why the hell can't I fly around in space yet? It's 2025. We were promised hoverboards, flying cars, and at least one functioning moon McDonald's by now. But instead we got TikTok dances and billionaires trying to speedrun the Martian. Maybe if scientists spent less time making sure Chad and HR felt emotionally safe and more time building the USS Enterprise, I'd be a goddamn space ranger by now. Instead, I'm here yelling into the void. Today we're diving into the black abyss of space. And while reaching for the stars usually ends up with your eyebrows burned off and your ship impaled by a rogue satellite. Getting off Earth is like breaking up with your crazy ex. It requires planning, speed, and the raw power of 1,000 fiery explosions. And sometimes a restraining order, and changing your number and moving 3 towns away. And, completely changing your identity. You go from being a tax accountant to a humble shipping merchant in a small seaside town. You need to hit speeds of 25,000 miles per hour just to get off the planet. If you manage to launch your orbital middle finger, there's a fun surprise waiting. A junkyard full of ancient satellites and scrap metal. Right now, Earth's orbit is like a hoarder's attic. Over 3,000 dead satellites, 34,000 pieces of space garbage just floating around up there like cosmic shrapnel. One stray screw to your fuel tank, and boom.
Game over, man. Game over.
Let's put that into context. You spent 15 years getting your degree, another 10 convincing NASA you weren't insane, and 4 months building a rocket in a sterile lab so clean it makes heaven look like a dive bar. You launch, your dreams are coming true, and bam, derailed by a Soviet toaster flying at Mach 12. Good job, humanity. Are you still excited? Well, cool. Now let's add asteroids, space pirates, alien parasites, and wormholes that drop you on alternate Earths ruled by monkeys. And not just any monkeys, weirdly articulate monkeys with complex legal systems and CGI acid. You'll join the human resistance, rise up, escape back through the wormhole, crash again, and find yourself in an even stupider timeline, like the one where Mark Wahlberg is your savior and Tim Burton is allowed to touch science fiction. Jesus Christ, that movie was a hate crime in IMAX. Let's be real here. Space madness is a real thing. You're sealed in a titanium shoebox hurling through the void for 6 months with people you barely know. They say NASA screams for psychological compatibility. That's awesome. But I've been on a road trip with my cousins and we nearly killed each other over playlist control. Now imagine 6 months of freeze-dried spaghetti, recycled urine, and Terry. There's always a Terry. Terry's the guy who brings 3 board games, eats all the good snacks on day 2, and whistles. All the time. Terry's got that soft, rhythmic, off-key whistle, like a dying tea kettle humming show tunes from memory. At first it's annoying, and then it becomes unbearable. And one day you're playing Settlers of Catan, and he's hoarding all the goddamn brick, and you just snap, and you grab the space wrench and stab him in his stupid, fat pig face. Fuck you, Terry. And now you've got a murder problem in space. Nobody planned for that in the training. Oh yeah, here's how to manage the oxygen. But where's the module on killing Terry and hiding his body in the hydroponic lettuce? That's real astronaut stuff. So the real question is then, should we even bother? Should we bother leaving Earth at all? Should we even try? Yes, but also no. The Earth is dying. We cooked it, we microwaved it, we fracked it, smacked it, and packed it full of plastic and regret. It's the only home we got though. And we're treating it like a Motel 6 with no cleaning fee. We have to fix that. But we also have to reach for space. Not because we deserve another planet, but because eventually Earth's gonna go kaboom. And we'd like to be somewhere else when it doesn't. It's not about conquest anymore, it's about backup. We need a copy of our dumb species somewhere, preferably far away and hopefully with fewer Kardashians. So yeah, space travel sucks, and it's dangerous, and half of NASA's meetings are probably just PowerPoint slides of exploding toilets, but it's worth it. Not just for survival, but for the thrill, for the hope. For that kid inside who just wanted to fly away with Chewbacca. We've learned a lot today. Space is terrifying. Humanity is underqualified. Mrs. Splenderson should have been arrested. But perhaps the most interesting lesson is this. If they ever try to remake Planet of the Apes again, and you ever think of casting Marky Mark as the lead, I will personally launch myself into space and slap you with a VHS copy of the original film. Did no one, and I mean not a single goddamn person, turn to Tim Burton during the production and say, hey, maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe casting Michael Clarke as a giant militant gorilla is not only tone deaf, but feels like some kind of unholy racial fever dream. Really? Nobody? That movie was a racist pile of goofy garbage, and I stand by that with the fiery conviction of 1,000 exploding warp cores. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and watch it again. I dare you. I triple dog dare you to sit through Helen Bonham Carter in monkey prosthetics trying to be sexy while Paul Giamatti squeals in the background. That movie set back both race relations and chimpanzee rights by decades. That's all I have for you today. I'm Rusty McTrusty. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button, or don't. You're an adult. You can make your own life choices. Have a good night.